Let me explain to you how God made you so that it becomes clearer to you. When you're inside your mother's womb, the first organ that develops of intellect, the first organ is your brain. The body starts being built from the brain. You know, when you look at your mother's womb, or when she's pregnant with you, if you go back and check the scan, you'll see the first big thing that's there is the brain. But inside that brain, God has made a mechanism for the spirit to dwell. Your soul, that is. It lives in a place that is first created in your mother's stomach. And the whole brain doesn't develop. Just the right side of your brain develops. The left side is still becoming, sprouting. But the right side, this side, develops first. In fact, by the time you come out of your mother's womb, your right side is almost fully developed. Your left side only finishes developing when you're about 7 years old. God made it this way for a reason. Your right side only develops, or develops fully almost, and it's responsible for very particular things in this world. It's responsible for things that connect to your soul. Things that are not tangible. Things that are more imaginary, more flexible, more spiritual. Like dreams. Like ability to envision. Subtle things that you can't pinpoint. Things that connect you to outside of this world. This part. It is a dwelling place of where your soul uses its information and operates in this world. The left side, on the other hand, is responsible, it's more rigid. It is more to do with being able to negotiate in the world. It is concerned with time, with space, with numbers, with analytics, with maths, with physics, with things that you can physically see and touch, with depth. It is an entity concerned. It helps you to count. It helps you to take stock of things. This part of the brain allows you to study in school, to learn things, to absorb things. And when this part is a bit slow, then you can't do maths properly. When this part is a bit slow, you can't do physics properly because it's hard for you to understand things. 1 + 1 = 2. It becomes that, but because this takes long to develop, it starts maybe about 3 years old and it goes to about 7 before it's completed. That's why when you are born, nobody can tell you 1 + 1. Because this side is the only side that is responsible for learning language, physical things that you can use. And so you can't, it's responsible for maths. That's why when the child is 2 years old, when you tell them 1 + 1, they can just repeat it to you, but they don't know what it means. You can try as much as you want, but you'll never get them to understand what it means. You can tell them to remotely learn 1 + 1 = 2, they'll tell you 1 + 1 = 2, but they don't know what it means. Because meaning only comes from this side. The brain can't distinguish, before this side is built, before the left side is built, can't distinguish a black person from a white person. It doesn't know the difference between fat and thin. It cannot identify things that normally the left brain will identify. The right brain, that is. It can't do any of that. So that's why you find children, they can go to anybody. You might say, oh, those people are so dirty, but their nose and all leak, and you'll want to grab your child, goes away with the nose leak, everything. He can't identify anything because he's 2 years old. This side, this discrimination side is non-existent. So it doesn't know differences. What is it? It just goes with what it feels. This side has to do with more intuition. Things you can't put your finger on. The right side. It develops first. It got instinct. It can identify danger before this side is even built. It's got this ability that is connected more to the soul. This one here is as far away from the soul as you can imagine. And that's why when your child is growing up, you find people who feed the right side. If you feed the right side, in other words, the things you can't identify, joy, you make your children laugh. Things you can't quantify. Let me put it this way to you. This side has to do with the numbers, quantity. It measures things. What your marks are in school, how well you're doing, how many friends you got. My child has a lot of friends. All friends, you must look at the work, the letters that he gets. They signed his register, he got like 50 some odd friends. How many friends your child got? Because you count your success based on numbers, based on this side. You count the success of your child based on what percentages they get in school. They're not interested in quality. They're interested in quantity. That's what the world is interested in, quantity. How big is your church? How many people you got? How much money you get end of the month? Yeah. And my sister is getting more than me, and yet we're doing the same job. The fact that her numbers are bigger than yours upsets you. Because the world is surrounded with numbers. Because numbers equal to success. It has nothing to do with the right side. The right side has to do with quality. So it's better, let me just tell you this. It's better to have one faithful, trusted friend than 10 who don't even care. Are you with me? It's better to have a church of 50 people, quality people, than 1,000 useless idiots. Babbling brooks, I call them. It's babble. Quality to me, I learned a little while ago, not very long ago, but maybe 10, 15 years ago, I learned quality was God's priority. When a lady came and poured the bottle of perfume that was so expensive, 1 year's wages on Jesus, the disciples were concerned about the quantity, how much was spent. Jesus says the meaning is more important than the quantity. What is the meaning? When your child comes from school, not what marks you got and how much of stars. How was your day? Did you laugh? Did you enjoy? No, that's not what you asked them. How many friends you made today? How much of marks did you? How many children in the class got A's just like you? You see, because the left brain is programmed to believe that success is equal to how many marks and how much of money. How many cars you got? You got more cars, that means you're better off. My son is a doctor. Because it assumes that because he's got that status, because you see the left side is only concerned with numbers. Quality, only this side. Quality, only this side. When you're growing up, I think you'll remember that people were most concerned when your quantity dropped. That's where they are most concerned about. In fact, people are attracted to other people based on quantity. I'm going to find a nice boy for my daughter. He got a good job. He earned a lot of money. And he got a good house. Come from a well-off family. The quality of the man, I never think about that. Will the man look after your daughter? Things that you can't see. Will he treat her well? Will he be emotionally oppressive to her? Will he think he's better than her? No, I didn't think about that.